I am not someone who believes in true love or soulmates or other sappy romantic shit like that. Maybe it's the deep seated self hatred or the low self esteem or rugged individualism, but it wasn't something that I personally thought was true for myself or really for anyone else. And I still feel that way. I think that love is too non-specific of a word. You can love your friends, your mom, your wife, and even though you're using the same word, they all mean very different things. Sure, there are some commonalities, but that word is not universal. I think that everyone knows what I mean when I say true love. I don't want to get too specific. I like to keep my private life a little bit private, but I've been dating this same woman since I was like 16, and we've been through a lot, and we've had to work together to grow as people and to grow into adults and change and learn. And even for this relationship that I've spent my entire adult life in, I don't think that we are in true love, because I don't think that is a real thing. There are certain things that make a healthy relationship work out. Maybe proximity, compatibility, stick-withedness. To chalk everything up to this natural force that just attracts certain people together is, in my opinion, a disservice to the people who put work in, who try. The old grandparents who've been together for 50 happy years are that way because they tried. They planted their love, they grew it, they watered it, they nourished their love, and they get to bask under its branches. But the tree wouldn't be there if they didn't work, if they didn't tirelessly toil. There is a lot of lack of relationships, especially among young people, and I think there are a lot of reasons for it, but first and foremost, I think it's because being vulnerable is somewhat frowned upon. If you're vulnerable, you leave yourself open to being hurt. And getting punched while you're down is the worst way to be hurt. But if someone never takes that chance, then they'll never see the opportunity to grow. In general, in my life philosophy, I think it's good to take risks, to do the scary thing. Maybe it's my need to feel like I'm in control. Anytime someone tells me that I can't do something, I feel this overwhelming urge to do it. And that doesn't matter who. It could be my parents, my friends, my own brain. It's just something that is wrong with my head. But it has its positives. I am consistently willing to put myself in uncomfortable situations. I'll get on stage and try to tell jokes. And if no one laughs, I'll take the punches and I'll keep moving. I asked out many girls before I met my girlfriend. Getting rejected sucks, but it's a part of life. Wounds can heal, but losing something, the lack of something, that empty feeling that you have that you know you could have had something and you didn't even try, well, that feeling doesn't heal. You can't go back and do it again, so you have to try now. At the end of the day, we're monkeys on a rock, flying through space, hurtling towards a black hole that wants to eat up everything. All we can be certain of is that you have the short years where you get to be alive and experience life. At the end of this, no matter what, we all wind up in the ground. I think the most core part of my personality, aside from this need to do anything that I am told I can't do, is my obsession with making things. Whether it was music, YouTube videos, art, electronics, computer programs, I care deeply about the process of creation. And I don't know why I'm this way. Maybe it's my own version of trying to reclaim my immortality, you know? I can die, but the things that I've made will be here forever. But this also informs my view of love, and it's why I don't really care for true love. It's something to be made with another person. It is not something to find. It is not a force of the universe. It is a circumstance that you then have to work on and nourish and bloom and harness. And that can take a lot of work. I think a lot about the people who aren't in relationships. There's a lot of people my age and younger who really have trouble talking to people of the opposite gender. And for years, I was obsessed with these people, whether that was r/virgin, both that and r/female virgin, or the old incel subreddits, or even back in like 2015 on the original incel.me forum. Yeah, I knew what mewing and looks maxing were like 10 years ago. I found these people so fascinating because I related to them, yet I detested them. It was like looking into a warped mirror, seeing all of these horrible parts of my psyche crammed into one website. I could see how easily I could have been one of these people. And I thought a lot about what makes them tick, about their psyches. I don't want to get too deep into it. At the end of the day, this video is about love, not about incels. But at its core, I think these people are afraid of the truth. They're afraid of the truth that they're not special, that they have to change and learn and grow to get the thing that they want, and that there is more to changing and learning and growing than how defined your jawline is or what your canthal tilt looks like. The truth that these people do not understand is that love is work, and to be loved is work. It is a constant choice that has to be made every single day, like eating healthy, or like going to the gym. Not that I would know anything about that. Now, I will say, it's worth mentioning, these people are not evil. They were not born this way. They do not exist in a vacuum. The systems that we live under are not helpful in creating people who want to build and grow and be vulnerable, whether that is building a community or building a better society for the future people, or building interpersonal relationships with other people. And I can admit, I'm not the best at this when it comes to friendships, but I like to feel like I'm pretty decent at it when it comes to my relationships. There are a lot of issues though, whether it's algorithmic content that constantly feeds people gender war garbage, making them hate each other, poisoning the well for profit, the financial systems that make life so expensive and difficult to maintain that a lot of people just can't even participate in it at all, or the dating apps that have been designed to turn the idea of relationships into something to be consumed, paired with just the natural trend of the internet making people more isolated, making people not willing to talk to strangers in public. I'm more than willing, when I go outside, to talk to random people if they talk to me. I don't really strike up conversations. Maybe that's something I could work on myself, but majority of the time, the people who try to talk to me are old people. They're people in their 40s or older. I have very rarely had some 30-year-old, 20-year-old randomly talk to me. Indoctrinating political and social messaging, economic hardship, and profit-driven algorithms have made an internet-savvy society that is super hostile to relationships, to this truth that relationships take work. The more socially isolated people get, the more easy it is to make them view other people as inhuman, as something for physical gratification, or something to extract resources from. But at the end of the day, they too are just monkeys on a rock flying through space with the eventual endpoint of a black hole. I don't know what the solution to all this is. I used to think I knew, but the longer time goes on, and the more I know I don't know shit. I can admit, I'm very lucky to have had the opportunities that I've had to be able to be put in the situations that eventually led me to finding my relationship. And I'm super lucky that I found someone who was broadly compatible with me, who was willing to communicate with me, meet me on my level when I'm being a fucking idiot, and put up with me when I'm being annoying. But also, pull me up when I'm beating myself up for no reason, or hold me to a higher standard than what I think is capable. And I can admit that there was some luck involved. But outside of the opportunity, that's where luck stops. Everything beyond it is a choice to water the plants or to let them wither. So no, I don't believe in true love, because it's built around a misunderstanding of causality and of the way relationships actually work. Instead, I believe in GRU love, the process of building something awesome together with another person. I hope this makes sense, and it isn't too weird of a departure from what you'd normally expect on this channel. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this. That's really all I've got. Hope you like the Deadlock gameplay, trying something different. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week.